Hello, welcome to the first Indices tutorial presented by the Education Unit of EXCELIMKA Nigeria Limited. In this tutorial, EXCELIMKA presents I Adejo teaching indices. We shall be taking a close look at the meaning of indices. Indices is the plural form of index. The word index is used in a variety of senses in mathematics. In perhaps the most frequent sense, an index is a superscript or subscript to a symbol. Superscript indices are often but not always used to indicate powers. Subscript indices are usually used to identify an element of a set or array or sequence of variables. In our lesson objectives, we should be able to explain the meaning of indices, state the laws of indices, apply laws of indices to operations involving index number, describe some practical application of indices. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to be seeing mathematics with the mind eye. The mind eye, as used in this case, is an imaginary organ of sight that gives you the ability to see things with your mind instead of the physical eye. It is important to activate this sense of vision by being at ease, undermining fears and worries. We walk you through this tutorial seeking your interest and commitment. This is so because interest and commitment are the building blocks of mathematics. A raised to the power of 2 is an example of an index number. In this case, 2 is a superscript, also called exponent or power. Similarly, a base 2 is an index number, in which case 2 is a subscript. For the purpose of this tutorial, we will focus our attention on the number of the form a raised to the power of 2. A raised to the power 2 is a positive index number. A raised to the power minus 3 is a negative index number. A raised to the power m is a generic form of an index number for our consideration, where m is an integer number. Integer numbers are positive and negative whole numbers, including 0. The expression a raised to the power 2 multiplied by a raised to the power 3 is a two-term expression. This can be transformed to a multiplied by a on the right hand side being the equivalent of a raised to the power 2 on the left hand side. Similarly, a multiplied by a multiplied by a is the equivalent of a raised to the power 3 on the left hand side of the equality sign. Putting the product of a together, we have the product of 5a, which is simplified to a raised to the power of 5. From the previous illustration, we'll be looking at the definition of indices from mathematics perspective. The study of mathematical operations involving index number is called indices. It is the key to understanding high school mathematics. We now look at the laws of indices. We all know certain laws are fundamental to understanding the concept of indices. The first law we shall be looking at is called multiplication law for the purpose of illustration. This states that a raised to the power m multiplied by a raised to the power n can be transformed to a raised to the power m plus n on the right hand side of the equality sign. This is so because in the two-term expression on the left hand side, the common base is a. We take one of the a to the right hand side. The index involved is m and n. We add them together on the right hand side. In summary, the product of an index number imply addition of the indices. In our first example, a raised to the power 3 multiplied by a raised to the power 4 is equal to a raised to the power 3 plus 4. This follows from the first law of indices, as can be seen here. A raised to the power 3 plus 4 on the right hand side can be simplified to a raised to the power of 7. In our second example, we look at a case where the expression has a numeric base. 2 raised to the power 3 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 5. This can be compared with the generic form of indices from our first law, a raised to the power m multiplied by a raised to the power n implies 2 is the base number, 3 and 5 are the indices. Referencing our first law of indices from this point, 2 raised to the power 3 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 5 can be transformed to 2 raised to the power 3 plus 5. This can be simplified to 2 raised to the power 8. We now take a look at the second law, which also for the purpose of illustration is called division law. This is called division law because the mathematical operation involved is a division operation. It states that a raised to the power m divided by a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m minus n. In our first example, a raised to the power 5 divided by a raised to the power 3 is equal to, the common base in this case is a. We take one of it to the right hand side of the equality sign. The index 5 and 3 are subtracted on the right hand side of the equality sign. This follows from the fact that division operation imply subtraction of the index. Simplifying the expression on the right hand side, we have a raised to the power of 2. In our second example, we look at 3 raised to the power 6 divided by 3 raised to the power 3. In this case, the base involved are numeric. Referencing our second law of indices, we have the common base, which is 3. The index involved 6 and 3 are subtracted. Simplifying this, we have our final answer as 3 raised to the power of 3. Thank you for watching this tutorial. You can play this video over and over again until the techniques involved becomes your approach to solving mathematical solution.